Take a look at those damage numbers right above my head. That's two 25,000 crits and a 9,500 regular hit. That's kind of crazy considering this is only one Special 2 activation from Bishop. How is he doing that much damage just on one Special 2 activation? And how could I have said in my review yesterday, where I gave a full review and breakdown of the champion, how could I have actually said that Bishop doesn't deal that strong of damage if he's able to do something like this? Well, actually, this is about 60,000 damage, and we're only getting started with this special 2. It actually goes beyond that quite a bit. So let me back this up just a little bit here. The first part of his special 2 is actually a heel kick to the face. You're going to see in just a moment. I'm in my video editor. I no longer have access to Bishop, so we're going to have to do this a little bit differently than usual here. But yeah, you can see you got the heel kick to the face. That's his special 2. That's the kind of sets things up. So that's about 3,000 damage right there. Then he winds up for his big energy blast, and then boom, first hit, 25,000 crit. Boom, second hit, 25,000 crit, and the third hit was a non-crit. It was only a minor 9,500, right? Still pretty good damage. But it gets crazier than that because you see an incinerate applies. So let's fast forward this just a few more frames here, and that incinerate is going to start ticking for 40% of all of the previous damage before that. The heel kick and then the three ticks of damage from that energy blast. Add all of that up together, and then 40% of that damage is being dealt here in this incinerate. So yeah, it's ticking for 2,500. It lasts for 5 seconds. It ticks every half of a second, which means that it's going to be ticking 10 times in total, which means the incinerate is dealing an additional 25,000 damage. Altogether, that's a 90,000 damage special 2. And keep in mind, this is just a 4-star champion. What is possible with a 5-star bishop, I wonder? And it's broken down in such a way that because it's over multiple hits, it kind of gets around certain things like the Labyrinth of Legends damage cap, where you can only deal about 50,000 damage in one hit. So I wonder what's possible if you have a 5-star bishop. Now, again, I did say in my review yesterday, though, that this champion's damage is not very strong. And, of course, I recorded all of this before that video because if we back this up, this screenshot right here, this is what I used for my thumbnail of the video. So I knew very well what Bishop was capable of. The reason why I said that his damage is not very strong is because this kind of needs to be set up in a way. I kind of equate this to something like Nebula, where Nebula is able to deal a massive amount of shock damage, but it's something that has to be built up the right way, and it's kind of dangerous, and it's not always realistic, so I left it out of the review intentionally, knowing that I was going to have this separate video showing just exactly what he is capable of. But where the hell does Bishop get all this damage from? Because if you look at his base stats, his attack rating is average, if not a little bit below average, and his crit ratings, they're definitely below average. So how is it possible for Bishop to deal this damage? Well, there are 3 additional multipliers that Bishop works with. The first one here is on all of his special attacks, he consumes all of his prowess charges to gain additional 10% damage per stack consumed. So the dev note says 30 prowess. That's plus 300% special damage. This is by far the biggest multiplier. The problem with this is that it's not always easy to maintain a high level of prowess. Not only are you consuming all of it every time you activate your special, and you have no control over that, every time you activate it, it's all gone, you're also consuming prowess if you try to heal yourself, and then you also just don't necessarily get a ton of prowess depending on who you're fighting. The 2 ways to gain prowess is by landing parries, or you can also gain prowess by taking energy damage, but not all of the enemies in this game have some kind of energy damage for you to be gaining prowess from. So yeah, against enemies like Iceman, who has a cold snap, then yeah, you can gain a lot of prowess there. Or if Doctor Strange is attacking you with his energy damage, then you can gain some prowess there too. But yeah, it's just not that easy to maintain a high level. When you're just kind of screwing around against Winter Soldier, yeah, you can land a whole bunch of parries and have a high prowess, but when I was just trying to fight normally with the champion in Act 5 and in MODOK's lab, I was lucky if I got to 10 prowess, and I was lucky if I could maintain 10 prowess by the time I activated my special 2, between using some of it for healing and everything. So Yeah, it's not always that easy to have all this prowess, just like it's not easy to have a lot of shock charges for Nebula, for example. Okay, let's move on. The other multipliers, some of them are built into the Special 2 and Special 3 here. Special 2, you gain plus 50% damage if you activate the Special 2 within the first 12 seconds of the fight. Now, what I showed you in the beginning of this video, that was not within the first 12 seconds of this fight, so I did not have this multiplier active. The Special 3, you gain 30% damage if the enemy is above 85% health or below 15% health, and this damage is increased to plus 70% if the enemy is at full health. And these things are possible with Bishop, again, because you can carry over your energy damage from fight to fight, as I showed you guys in my full review of Bishop in yesterday's video. So it is possible to use your Special 2 or Special 3 right at the beginning of the fight, and you can gain some more multipliers there. Now, the third and final multiplier that Bishop is working with has to do with his Awaken ability, his signature ability. And it says here with 2 bars, if you start the fight with 2 bars, your special attacks leave the target incinerated for 40% of the special damage dealt over 5 seconds. The dev note here says this damage is based on the total damage achieved by that special. For example, a critical hit on a special attack will result in a more powerful incinerate. So again, you have low crit stats. When you do crit, your damage it can be pretty high, but it's kind of similar to Hulk, where yeah, when you have the multipliers going with Hulk and you land a crit on your Special 2, its damage is pretty good, right? Hulk can deal some good damage, but because of Hulk's low crit rating, it's not something you can rely on, just like you can't really rely on it for Bishop here either. Let's go over a few more clips here. Now you can see I'm boosted up here with just the mutant boosts, and if we let this play out a little bit here, you can see that I'm actually dead right now, because the way that I had to do this was I had to go into this fight. You can see my persistent charge here actually is at 2, so I have 2 bars of power saved up. So I had to go into this fight, get those 2 bars of power, die, and then pop a revive and then heal up and everything. And by the way, these potions and revives, these come out of the players' pockets, man. We only get the champion to play around with. Everything else, the energy refills, the potions, all that stuff, that all comes out of us. So yeah, this is actually some pretty expensive testing that I was doing for this video here. But now I'm going to go back into this fight. I'm going to start with my 2 bars of power. This way I get that 40% incinerate damage on my specials. And I'll show you just what I try to do here. So I'm going to try to build up my prowess charges. Okay, me getting hit, that was not on purpose. And yeah, I used a couple to heal there, so the healing was like almost not really noticeable. It's definitely a little bit on the weak side. And I think I had 10 prowess here, so you could just see exactly how much damage the Special 3 is going to do in this instance. And it's not anything too crazy. That was about 16,000, and then incinerate over 5 seconds. Looks like it's dealing about 6,500 in total. Alright, let's try this again. Let's try to build up some more prowess charges. And you can see here I'm up to 24. And if you time it right, you can get like double the prowess charges off of Winter Soldier Special 2. And now you're going to see me go above 30 prowess charges and actually start taking a whole lot of damage. So watch my health bar. It's just getting drained very rapidly. And I'm actually going to try to get him one more time. 54 prowess. I was so pissed that I couldn't get my special off in time with those 54 prowess charges. That would have been so much damage. I'm all set up again to start this fight with 2 bars of power to get that extra incinerate damage. Let's go ahead and hit play, and we'll see how many prowess charges I can build up before either killing myself or throwing the Special 3 this time. And I will get the Special 3 off this time, so let's take a look at this. Notice that Winter Soldier, he's not in that bonus damage range for my Special 3. He has to either be above 85% health or below 15, and yeah, he's just not in those ranges. I'm up to 24 prowess right now, so I'm not taking any self-inflicted damage yet. I'm up to 30, and actually I'm going to pause it for just a second. You should be popping your special either right now or even before this point in a regular fight. But for some entertainment purposes, let's push it a little bit further. So yeah, hit play again, and pretty soon here I'm going to start taking a whole lot of damage. Alright, I'm up to 36 charges, so yeah, you can see my health bar is rapidly on the decline. But it's going to get a little bit worse than that. Now I'm up to 42, and I get to 48, and now my health is, I really got to pop the special or I'm dead. So yeah, I popped the special, and we'll see what kind of damage I could deal in this. Let me try to pause it right on the number. And okay, let me see if I can get that to show better on screen. 44, okay, 44,323 just off the initial blast, and then a 1773 incinerate. That's going to tick 10 times in total. So altogether, it's about 62,000 damage off of Bishop's Special 3, which is really good for a 4-star champion. But, like I was saying, it was not that easy to set up. I had to start the fight with 2 bars of power, which is not always in your control, to get that incinerate damage. I had to practically kill myself here, gaining all those prowess charges. And yes, I could have just popped it when I had 30 or even less, and the damage would have been fine. It would have been okay, but it wouldn't have been this high. And because of Bishop's regular attack damage being so poor, being so underwhelming, his overall DPS is quite low. Now, I understand why Kabam had to balance the champion this way, and I'm not really complaining about it. It's just something to kind of point out to you guys and kind of showcase for you guys. He's balanced this way because you do carry over your power through fights, right? And you do have synergies that have you start with power. You have ways of gaining additional power throughout the fight, either taking that energy damage or when you parry, you gain some power. So he is balanced around using these special attacks. But, like I said too, it's not always that easy to be gaining all of these, all of those prowess charges. So it's just not something to expect. That's kind of the point I want to get across, and that's why this needed to be in its own separate video. The damage, if you can control it well enough, is pretty good, but it's not something that you can expect every time you go into a fight with this guy. And when I was testing him in Act 5, when I was testing him in Modoc's lab, the damage, it just really was not there. But there must be some kind of special cases that you could use this guy in that that's just, you know, kind of beyond what I'm able to think of. I think we're going to have to come together as a community on this one and try to figure out exactly where Bishop would shine over a different champion due to his unique setup that he has here. I do think it's possible that there's something that I'm overlooking, so yeah, definitely, if you have an idea, please leave it in the comments. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.